So students, today I'm going to start with you all chapter number 3, population composition from the book Nature and Scope of Human Geography. In our previous chapter, that is in chapter number 2, we had discussed about the world population distribution, density and growth. Okay, so we just we were acquainted with the various factors which influences the population growth of the world actually. Even we have discussed about population density, like what do we mean by population density, and we also discussed about the various components of population change, like the birth rate, the death rate, the migration, types of migration, streams of migration, factors of migration. Okay, and we also had a discussion on the trends of population growth in the world, means how did the population of the world it increase in different time periods. Okay, and about the population doubling time as well. Okay, and at the end, we discuss about one of the most important theory regarding population is the demographic transition theory that we have discussed in our previous class. So in this chapter, population composition, okay, we are going to discuss about the various characteristics of population. Like when we are studying about the population of a country or a particular region actually, so basically we are focusing on the study of different characteristics of the population. Like we don't only study about the total population of any country or the factors which influences this population growth or distribution within a country, but also we focus on the study about the number of male and female population, that is the ratio between the number of male and the female population, okay, which is known as the sex ratio or the sex composition. We also study about the literacy rate of the people. We also study about the occupational pattern, about the types of the occupation these people are engaged in actually. Okay, so these different characteristics, okay, the different characteristics of populations which we focus on actually, okay, will be studied in this chapter, population composition. Okay, so population composition basically refers to the different study about the different characteristics of population, such as the ratio between the number of male and female, their occupational pattern, their literacy rate, okay, their age, sex, population composition actually, okay, that we are going to discuss here. So let us start with this chapter, okay, population composition. Let us study in details, okay, about this chapter, population composition. So population composition, what does population composition mean actually? See, the people of any country are diverse in many respects. So basically the people of any country, they are diverse in many respects actually. Okay, they are diverse in different fields actually, in different characteristics. Okay, so each person is unique in his or her way actually. So the people living in a particular country, they are very diverse in their respect according to their race, religion, culture, number of male and female, their educational level, their occupational pattern and all. Okay, so each of the person, okay, each of this person is unique in his or her own way actually. Okay, means every people on this world is unique. They have their own characteristics, they have their own trait. Okay. So people can be distinguished by their age, their sex, and their place of residence. Okay, so it becomes, in order to understand the population of a particular region actually, okay, we focus on some aspects of this population, okay, such as their place of residence. Okay, we focus on the age group. We focus on their uh, the whether they belong to the male community or the female community and all. Okay, so some of the distinguishing attributes of the populations are the occupation, education, life expectancy. Okay, so some of the distinguishing attributes of this population, which uh, which better explains the population of any particular country or a region, is their occupational pattern, is their educational label, and their life expectancy. Okay, so this chapter, population composition, is going to focus entirely on these characteristics of population. Okay, like their age, their sex, their place of residence, their occupational pattern, their educational label, their life expectancy, and all. Okay. So first, we are going to start with the sex composition. Okay, what is sex composition, and how does it varies from one region to another? Okay, or how do we calculate this sex composition actually? So as said earlier, that sex composition is also referred to as the ratio between the number of men and women. Okay, as the ratio between the number of male and female population in a particular geographical area. Okay, so in short, it can be said that the ratio between the number of women and men in the population is called the sex ratio. Okay, the ratio between the number of women, that is a female, and men, that is a male, in any population is called the sex ratio actually. Okay, so we can find out the sex ratio of any particular geographical area, of any territory, of any country, state, or district actually. Okay. So this population, okay, the number of women and men in a country is an important demographic characteristics, because whenever we study about the population of any particular region or a geographical area or a territory, it is very much important to know in details about the number of male and female. Okay, because studying only the total population will provide us a limited information. But if we focus on detailed study about this population, like about the number of male and female, okay, about the age of these people, okay, who belong to this male and the female category, about the occupation, the education and all. Okay, so the number of men and women, it is an important attribute, it is an important aspect of demographic characteristics population actually. Okay, so basically the sex ratio or the sex composition is been find out, like we try to find out the sex ratio of any particular country or a geographical area by using the formula male population divided by female population into 1,000. Okay, so there are different, like in different countries the formula is used in different way. Okay, somewhere it is calculated as the number of male, okay, per 1,000 female. Somewhere it is calculated number of female per 1,000 male, means for every 1,000 female how many males are there, or for every 1,000 males how many females are there. Okay, so in some countries, it is calculated by using the formula male population divided by female population into 1,000. Okay, so the ratio between the, we try to find out the ratio between the number of male and female by using this formula, male population divided by female population. That is the total number of male divided by total number of female into 1,000. And it is expressed as the number of males per 1,000 females. Okay, that is the number of males. How many males are there, okay, for every 1,000 female actually. This is how we find out the sex ratio. But in our country, India, we try to find out the sex ratio in opposite way actually. Okay, here we try to find out the number of females, okay, by using the formula female population divided by male population into 1,000. Okay, because in our country the number of females is quite less as compared to the males. So basically we try to find out the number of females for every 1,000 males. Okay, the number of females per 1,000 males. So this is the formula which is being used in our country to find out the sex ratio. That is the female population divided by male population into 1,000. Okay, so this is how we try to find out the sex ratio actually, and it is very important. Like you may be getting a question like, how do we find out the sex ratio in India, or what is the formula for finding out the sex ratio? Okay, so this sex composition or the sex ratio, it provides us detailed information about the number of male and female in the total population of a particular geographical area or a particular country actually. Okay, and this ratio between the number of male and female, okay, it indirectly provides us information about the status of women in the community. Okay, means how the women are being treated in the society, that is reflected through this sex ratio actually. Okay, so you will be finding many countries where the sex ratio is not favorable, that is number of females are very less. So it is observed that in those countries, okay, the women, they does not enjoy a equal status. Okay, they does not enjoy equal opportunities and all. But whereas in many countries you will be finding that the number of males and females are like the number of females per 1,000 males is quite higher. Even there are some countries where the number of females are more than the males actually. So in those countries it is believed that the females, they enjoy a better social life. Okay, they enjoy a better standard of living actually as okay. So this is why their ratio is favorable in those countries actually. So let us study in detail. Let us know in details like why this variation, why such variation is there. Okay, in the ratio between the men and women in different countries of the world, in different regions of the world. See, So the sex ratio is an important information about the status of women in a country, as I said. Okay. So basically, the sex ratio, it provides us an important information about the status of women in a country. So what is the status of the women in a country? Whether they are enjoying equal status, whether they are like able to do their activities. Okay, they are enjoying freedom or not. Whether they are having access to education, access to job opportunities or not. Okay, so this like information we get, okay, from the sex issue actually. Okay. So in regions, there are many regions actually where gender discrimination is rampant. The sex issue is bound to be unfavorable to women. Okay. So there are many regions, there are many countries in the world, okay, where gender discrimination prevails. Okay, where gender discrimination prevails actually. Means the people, they basically they does not consider the females, okay, as very important in the society. Okay, they consider the females as like they are only mean to work in the household. Okay, they should be engaged in the household work and all. Okay, they does not have the right to equal education or properties and all. So like this type of notions or like this type of mentality prevails in some group of people, okay, among different countries, in different countries or different regions of the world. So basically those areas where gender discrimination is rampant, in those areas where gender discrimination is prevalent actually, okay, in those regions the sex ratio is bound to be unfavorable to women. That means the number of females is very less as compared to the number of males in those areas. Okay, wherever gender discrimination prevails actually. So if we like take the case of India, in our country, you will be finding that basically in the rural Indian society, okay, such kind of indiscrimination can be found actually. Okay, and not only this, even like in the state of Haryana, okay, Uttar Pradesh and all, the sex issue is not favorable actually, because it is it has been observed that in this states, okay, like gender discrimination still prevalent. Okay, it is still prevalent in the states in our country. Okay. So such areas are those where the practice of female foeticide, female infanticide, and domestic violence against women are prevalent. Okay, so those areas where the sex ratio is not favorable to the woman, actually, in those areas, female foeticide is being practiced, female infanticide is practiced. Okay, and domestic violence against women are prevalent. Okay. Now the question is, what is female foeticide, female infanticide actually? Female foeticide means before the child takes birth actually. Okay, before the child takes birth, through the help of the medical technology actually, sometimes, okay, the parents they come to know that whether the child in the womb is a male or female. Okay, so through this medical like technology actually, they come to know that whether it is a male or female. So if they find that it is a female, so what they do is they go for the abortion. Okay, so like the female child before taking birth only, they are being killed inside the mother's womb only. Okay, this is female foeticide, and this is very prevalent. Okay, it was very much prevalent in our country. Okay, but after the regulations which were made that such kind of medical examinations cannot be done, okay, the cases of female foeticide has reduced in our country to a large extent, but still it is being practiced illegally, okay, in some regions of our country. Female infanticide is another major problem, okay, not only in our country, but in many countries of the world where gender discrimination is prevalent. Means after the child takes birth, okay, after the female child takes birth, actually, they are being killed. Okay, because the people they consider that female childs are of no use. Okay, the people they consider that it is quite burden, okay, for them to raise the female child, because they have to give them marriage, they have to give them education, and during the time of marriage a lot of money will be spent, okay, for marriage and all. So this is why they like many of the people, okay, they practice female infanticide, though it is illegal actually. Okay, it is a crime, a kind of crime, both female foeticide, female infanticide, and domestic violence against the woman. It is a crime as per the Indian constitution. Okay, not only as per the Indian constitution, but according to the laws of the different countries, rules and regulations of the different countries, actually, such kind of practices are illegal actually. Okay, but still we find that this kind of practices are being practiced, okay, to some extent illegally actually. Okay, so those areas where such kind of female foeticide, female infanticide, and domestic violence as against women are being prevalent actually, in those areas the gender, like in those areas the sex issue is not favorable to the woman. Okay, and one of the most important reason okay, for this gender discrimination is that the lower socioeconomic status of the women in areas. Okay, so as because the women community, they enjoy a lower socioeconomic status. Okay, they does not enjoy a higher status in the society, and even the economic status of the woman is not good. Okay, in the society, basically among the poor people actually. So in those areas or in those places actually, such kind of like gender discrimination is more prevalent actually. Okay, so the most important cause is that the females, they does not enjoy a better socioeconomic status. Okay, and this is the reason that gender discrimination is prevalent. Okay, and like in order to increase the socioeconomic status, actually the females needs to be provided with education. Okay, we need to increase the literacy rate among the females. They must be made aware about their rights. Okay, about their legal rights, and also that they can protest against this discriminations and see. So you must remember that more women in the population does not mean they have a better status. It could be that the men might have migrated to other areas for employment. And even like there are many cases, sometimes the cases is that the number of women are more in any particular area. Okay, so it does not mean that the women are enjoying a better economic status, socio-economic status actually. Okay, sometimes it happens because the male, they have migrated to the other areas. Okay, and the females are left behind, and this is the reason that the number of females are more in those areas actually. Okay, like in case of the rural areas of India, in the rural areas of India, if you see, the number of females, okay, is quite higher as compared to the urban areas. Okay, and in the rural areas, the sex ratio is quite favorable to the women in the rural areas of our country. Why? Because in the rural areas, most of the female male population, they have migrated to the towns and the cities, okay, to find out the work, to do for employment opportunities and all. And who are left behind? Only the females are left behind. So this is why the number of females are quite higher in the rural areas. So does it mean that the females in the rural areas are enjoying a better status, better socioeconomic status? No, they are not enjoying a better socioeconomic status actually, but the reason behind their population, behind the large number of female population in the rural areas is that the male, they have migrated. Okay, and actually it is causing more pressure on the females who are living in the rural areas, because the males, they have migrated, so they have to look after all the activities. They have to look after the household activities, they have to look after the children's, after after even they have to look for the earning opportunities, and means the males, they have went to earn their livelihood, but then also they have to look after the agricultural sectors and all. Okay, so more pressure is put on the female community in the rural areas actually. So on an average, the world population, they reflects a sex ratio of 102 males per 100 females. So in the world actually, okay, on an average, 102 males are there for every 100 females. That means for every 100 female, 102 males are there. So here also you can see that the number of males is still quite higher by around 2%. Okay, and if we see the differences between the ratio between the male and female ratio in different countries of the world, okay, there's a huge variation. There are some countries where the number of females are more than the males actually, and there are some countries where the number of females are very less. Okay, like in the country of Latvia actually. Okay, the highest sex ratio in the world has been recorded in Latvia, where there are 85 males per 100 females. Okay, so Latvia is the only country in the world where the sex ratio is very much favorable to the women actually, to the females. Okay, for every 85 males, for every 85 males, 100 females are there. So you can imagine that the number of females are like more than the number of males actually. Okay, so it shows that the females, okay, like the ratio, sex ratio is favorable to the females actually. Okay, and they enjoy a better status. Okay, but in contrast, if you see Qatar, Qatar is the country. Okay, here you can see that 311 males are there for every 100 females, actually 100 females. So you can imagine that the number of females are very less. Okay, as compared to the number of males, means only 100 females are there for every 311 males. So you can see here that the sex ratio is very unfavorable, very unfavorable to the females actually. Okay, so why such variation exist in the world actually? Why some countries they have a better sex ratio, and why some countries they have a unfavorable sex ratio actually? Why? What may be the cause actually? Okay, so the cause is related to the socio-economic status of the country, okay, to the cultural setup of the country, even to some extent the religious aspect, okay, the culture and the educational level of the country is also responsible for such variations. Okay, see. The world pattern of sex ratio does not exhibit variations in the developed regions of the world. So basically, such kind of variation between the male or female is very rare in the developed countries of the world. In the developed countries of the world, actually, the sex ratio is quite favorable to the women. Means the ratio between the men and women is quite same. Okay, but in the underdeveloped countries of the world, the variations or the differences between the number of males and females is quite higher. Okay, why? Because in the underdeveloped nations or in the developing nations, the people they does not enjoy a better economic status. Okay, which puts more pressure on the female community. So the sex ratio is favorable for females in 139 countries of the world and unfavorable for them in the remaining 72 countries listed by the United Nations. So according to the United Nations, 139 countries of the world are there where the sex ratio is favorable to the women. But 72 countries are there in the world where the sex ratio is not favorable to the women. Okay. And out of these 72 countries, some of these countries, they, they can be found in the continent of Asia actually. Okay. So in general, if we talk in general, actually, in general, Asia has a low sex ratio. The countries like China, India, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, they have a low sex ratio. Okay, so these are the Asian countries, and here you can see that the sex ratio is not favorable to the women. The sex ratio is quite very much less, okay, to the females actually. Like China and India, they are the largest country in terms of population. Okay, the sex ratio is not favorable. Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, they have a very low sex ratio. On the other hand, okay, on the other hand, if you see the greater part of Europe, including Russia, okay, where males are in minority. Okay, on the other hand, in the European countries, actually, the males are minority. The number of females are more as compared to the males. Okay, and the males are less in number. Okay. So a deficit of males in the population of many European countries is attributed to the better status of women. Okay, so a deficit of male in the population means a less number of males in the population. Okay, in the European country, okay, is there just because of the better status of women. Because in the European countries, okay, the women community they enjoy a better status. Okay, they enjoy a better status, and this is the reason that the number of women are quite higher than the males actually, because they enjoy equal opportunities in terms of education, in terms of job opportunities, okay, in terms of the household activities and all everything. Okay, but and an excessively male dominated out migration. Okay, and on the other hand, excessively male dominated out migration. Okay, and on the other hand, the people in these countries actually mostly the male they have migrated out. Okay, males they have migrated out of the country or out of this their areas for employment opportunities. So this is also one of the reason, okay, that the number of females are more in this region. Okay, so this is what about the sex ratio or the sex composition of the world, and it basically provides us information, okay, about the variation in the sex ratio of different countries of the world. So here we came to know that the sex ratio is favorable to 139 countries in the world, and 72 countries in the world are there where the sex ratio is not favorable. Okay, and Latvia is the country which is having the highest sex ratio, whereas Qatar is the country which is having the lowest sex ratio in the world. Okay, and the countries like India, China, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, actually, they have a low sex ratio, comparatively low sex ratio as compared to the other countries of the world. Okay, so this is what about the sex composition from the chapter population composition. Okay, so today we came to know about the characteristics, okay, about the sex composition of population, which is one of the important characteristics of population. Okay, which basically tries to provide us information about the status of male and female, okay, in a society.